Hello, all. Welcome back. So, when you go for a DevOps interview, the first impression is the best impression in the terms of how you present your resume. So, when I took a lot of interviews, or in past when I have taken a lot of DevOps interviews, I look at the resume, and the first impression is that why this person has prepared like this, or why this person has put so many things into this resume, or what are the key highlights of this resume. So you should not make that mistake. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you one bad resume, what are the mistakes that people do while creating their DevOps resume, and then I'll show you the best resume or comparatively better resume, which has everything that a DevOps person requires. And in the third part of the video, I'm going to show you how to create a DevOps resume from scratch. So make sure that you watch this video till the end, because by end of this video, I'll make sure that your resume is at least 10% better than what you have today. So without further ado, let's dive into the video. All right, so let's start with a bad resume. So here I've removed all the names and of course everything from this resume because to protect the privacy of the person. This is a typical DevOps resume like most of the people would use, and then they make some changes to some technologies and everything, but rest of the things would be same. So one of the biggest mistake that you would find here in this resume is that it is 3 pages resume. We all used to joke around saying that like Manmohan Singh resume used to be around 10 pages or whatever. But when you are creating a technical IT resume, you should not cross more than 2 pages. 2 pages is the max, 1 is ideal. First of all, the interviewer will not get time to go over everything that is put here. And I'll show you mistakes that this person has done. Professional synopsis. This is fine. 5 years of overall experience in DevOps, Unix, and Windows system administration. Whenever you look at this statement, DevOps, Linux, or Unix and Windows system administration, you'd get a feeling that how come this person has worked in Unix and as well as Windows system administration in last 5 years. But that's fine. If person has real experience, that is okay. Generally, people would put DevOps with Linux experience or DevOps with Windows experience, not both. So this is something odd here. And then if you look at this section is very important section because it's like highlights of whatever you have done in last 5 years. Now he has experience in Docker containers for AWS. This is fine. Experience in configuring the systems using Linux. Using Ansible. This is fine. This is fine. And then experience in infrastructure and development operations involving AWS cloud platforms. EC2, EBS, you don't have to put all the services here. But typically what you should do in this section, if you have 5 years of experience, is what are the key 2 or 3 things that you have done in last 5 years. Now coming to the next section, the technical skills. Git is fine. Chef, Jenkins, this is a blunder. Nobody would use Chef as a CI tool. Jenkins or GitLab CI probably, or other tools. So Jenkins was sufficient here. And then AWS services, this is unnecessary stuff here. And then like I've said again, this is one of the common rookie mistake that people do. They put Windows, Linux, Unix, Solaris, all the flavors of different operating systems that they worked on, but nobody cares. If I'm interviewer, I wouldn't care how many operating systems that person has worked on. Even this mistake I have done long back in my initial years. So I'm just giving you, based out of my experience, how you can fix these things. Just put Linux operating system or Windows or whatever. So that is more than sufficient. And then application servers, if you want to put, you can put. If not, this is not that mandatory. Databases might be important. You can put that. And this is an important section. You can as well mention that here. Virtualization tools may not be that important. And configuration management tools, Puppet and Ansible. And again, if you see at the top, he had mentioned about Chef. And he did not mention Chef here because he put it here. Okay, that's fine. And container technologies, Docker. Now you would want to put EKS and other things. So monitoring tools. So there is a mistake here, spelling mistake. When interviewer nitpicks certain things, he feels that this person did not put lot of effort in preparing the resume, or this person did not even do one proofreading of his resume or her resume. He just gave it like a piece of paper for the interviewer to look into. Don't give that impression to the interviewer. Now coming to the professional experience. Okay, there are multiple companies that are mentioned here. I'll just pick one and then go over the mistakes of this bad resume. Whenever you're putting a professional experience, company name, location, role, these things are fine. This is absolutely fine, and this is how you have to do it. in the responsibility section, you have to write what are the key things that you have done in that company. Let's say in 2 years, what are the key things that you have done? So you should not put every task that you have done in the company, rather put an achievement sort of a thing and then the result of that achievement. Or even if you want to put an AWS experience, you can mention that in this company I have deployed so and so, and then the outcome of that was so and so savings or so and so percentage increase. So always mention with metrics. Now if you see here, this person has said created users, created roles. These are like smaller tasks. And like for example, Jenkins Docker images using a Docker file. Make sure that you put only key important things. Or the same thing for the previous experience he had put in Hyderabad, firmware upgradation like so and so, writing chef recipes and cookbooks to deploy the automation scripts, testing chef cookbooks on various environments. So he has mentioned a lot of chef part here. Created code using Python modules to resolve storage issues for the customer. So this is a good responsibility, or maybe good outcome, or this is like a good thing to mention here. But probably along with this, you have to mention that what was the result of this task. So those are the areas of improvement for this resume. And again, certifications and all, if you want to highlight certifications, you have to mention at the top or give some images at the top. That's more than sufficient. Okay, now let's look at a good DevOps resume. So this is the good DevOps resume and has similar experience. Now let's see what is good here in this resume. All right, so first of all, if you see here in the summary, how many you have? You have 5 key skills. Dynamic professional with 5 years of experience, championed in cloud provisioning tools for IaaC, exceptional skills in container technologies, good knowledge in building REST APIs using Node, Spring, and whatever expertise in providing valuable insights. So data science. So what it shows to me as an interviewer is he has good cloud migration experience, Linux administration, CI/CD, and then CI/CD experience, and he also has a good data science experience with Python and PySpark, and he also has a development experience writing REST APIs using Spring Boot and configuring API gateways. So this is a good summary for a 5 years of experience person. Now if you have more experience, then you can highlight even better things here. Like let's say you have presented somewhere, or at a leadership level you have done certain things. So again, depends on whether this resume is for a hands-on person or a leadership person. So based on that, you can tweak this summary section. One tip that I would give is always look for the best resumes or best DevOps persons that you know around who are working at top 5 companies, and look for their resumes in LinkedIn, or look for how they have created their past experience in LinkedIn. That is the best place to get some ideas and prepare your resume. Okay, now let's go to the skill section. So he has put CI tools, GitLab, Jenkins, and Bamboo, and configuration management. Again, mention only whatever you have worked on. This is another noob mistake to get a better impression of the DevOps resume. So what they generally do is they put GitLab, GitHub Actions, Jenkins, Bamboo, Travis CI. So what happens is, like I've said in one of my previous video, let's say I don't know any of these 2 tools, but you have put, let's say, GitHub Actions. Then having worked on GitHub Actions, I can grill you on GitHub Actions, and that will put you in trouble. And as well as interviewer will take that as a feedback. Most of the time you will fail that interview. So make sure that you just put whatever you have worked on or whatever you have done your POC on. And the container technologies as well, same. If you haven't worked much on Swarm, don't have to mention this. If you have worked on Kubernetes, strongly put Kubernetes experience or Kubernetes technologies here. And development, this is fine. Scripting, monitoring and logging, DevOps tools, all this is fine. Now another pro tip is that, let's say you are applying for a company where they do not need any development experience. Okay, they are looking for a purely DevOps person with system administration background. Then in here, this section is enough. Again, this section only if you are confident or you have done a lot of programming, put that. because if again the person who is interviewing, if that person is a very good programmer, then you might be in trouble if that person is going to ask you algorithms and all those things which you haven't prepared for that company. So you can tweak your resume sometimes based on where you're applying as well. You don't have to use the same resume across all the companies. And the other thing that he has mentioned here is college, masters, and bachelor's, which is good. He's currently working at Goldman Sachs, responsible for enterprise-wide CI. And if you carefully see here, when compared to the previous resume, the best part is these metrics that he had mentioned. 80K plus projects, and implemented bespoke model with the firm strategic database controls. And he has also highlighted certain things so that I don't have to go through every word. I just can look at the highlights. And then improved CI/CD security posture by restricting and so, and manage releases for enterprise. This is fine. And as a risk, and then he has put 30 plus AWS accounts that he has managed. Now let's go through some other section that he has worked on. He's worked at Verizon. And then here he talked about migrating 14 on-prem applications. And then he talked about 300 teams to onboard to applications to so dashboard. And then he had an internship after his master's. He had put text analytics on 13 million records. So this resume is very crisp, to the point, and this would definitely impress any interviewer, whoever is taking this DevOps interview, because he has put everything that is required for a DevOps engineer, along with the metrics, along with the outcomes, and along with the key highlights. So let's say that you want to create your resume from scratch and you want to get a format. So now this is the best suggestion I would give. As always, these days, like everybody does, ask our friend ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT to prepare a sample DevOps resume. So here is the DevOps resume format that ChatGPT has come up with. You can ask same question to ChatGPT. Maybe it can come up with a better answer to you as well. Here you start with your name, your contact information, and summary. DevOps engineer with so years of experience in automating software development and deployment, infrastructure management, proficient in cloud technologies, good technical skills. You can see cloud platforms, configuration management tools, containers, containerization, scripting languages, monitoring and logging, and professional experience. So this is the best part that I was mentioning in which is there in the second resume. So DevOps engineer, the role, company, location, start date, end date, and see here, automated the deployment process using Jenkins, Ansible, reduced the time by 50%, implemented Kubernetes-based container orchestration, set up monitoring and logging, again metrics resulting in 40%. So this is what you have to do. Manage, again in the second company, manage the deployment and configuration of tools of applications using Chef and Puppet, reduce the man intervention by 70%. So if you can prepare something like this would be the best DevOps resume that you can use and you can impress your interviewer. Alright, so I hope this video is helpful to you all, and for people who are going to prepare their DevOps resume, make sure you follow these tips and make sure that you use ChatGPT to create a framework, and then try to write your achievements by showing some metrics. Keep it crisp and highlight some few things. That way you're going to impress your interviewer, and hopefully your resume is going to be shortlisted, and then you will do awesome in your interviews. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching this. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, do click on subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell, because you're going to miss my notifications. Thank you all. Take care. Bye.